Jaya Vraja Janaranjana, Jaya Vraja Janaranjana, Jaya Yashodanandana, Jaya Vraja Janaranjana, Jaya Vraja Janaranjana.
Premanandi Srila Prabhupada ki Shri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki Shri Prem Dr. Nityananda Prabhu ki Shri Prem Bodhisattva Satchinandana Gaura Hare ki Bolo Giriraj Maharaj ki Shri Shri Radha Gopi Vallabha Ju ki Shri Madhujara Saganaiti Murti Mahabha Prakash Jagannath Swami ki Shri Jagannath Shri Baladev Shrimati Subhadra Mai Sudarshan Ju ki Shri Bungi Shadama ki Radha Shrimad Bhagavatam ki Gaur Premanandi Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Sri Guru Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, we're going to read something from Srimad Bhagavatam, because we should have Bhagavatam class every day. And we'll say something about subject matter in connection with Bhagavatam. But before we try to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam, my revered spiritual master instructed me that we should offer prayers to the Bhagavatam. Because Chaitanya Charitamrita states that Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhu Sarva Shloki Shloki Yaksu Nanaka Koi. That just as Krishna is Vibhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so also is Srimad Bhagavatam. It's the literary incarnation of the Lord. And just as we offer prayers to Krishna, we also offer prayers to Srimad Bhagavatam. So this takes about 5 minutes or so. If you know some of these verses, you can sing along with them. Narayanam namaskrityam naram shaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudurayat vede ramayane shaiva purane bharate tata Adavante cha madhye cha hari sarvatra giyate Mukham karoti vachalam pangum nangayate girim Yat kripa tamaham vande shri gurum dinataranam Paramananda madhavam. This is a traditional song that they sing in Orissa in the villages in what they call the Bhagavat Tungi. Bhagavat Tungi is a place where they traditionally have Bhagavatam every day. Paramananda he Madhava Padunda Luche Makaranda Se Makaranda Panakori Anande Bolo Hari Hari Harika Name Vandavela Parikori Chakadola Se Chakadolanka Palaye Manamo Rahu Niranjare Manamo Niranjare Rahu Ha Krishna Bole Jiva Jao Ha Krishna Bole Jao Jiva Motiu Dara Rada Dava Motiu Dara Rada Dava Motiu Dara Rada Dava Dharma Projita Kaita Vota Paramonya Matsyanam Satam Vedyam Vastava Mattavasti Shivadam Dhapa Chayon Mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamune Kute Kimba Parayeshvara Sadhyo Vidya Vibhuddhite Chakati Vishu Shubhistakshana Nigamako Pataro Galitam Valam Shukamukara Mitradavasam Yutam Pivata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Mohoroho Rasika Bhuvivavukan Anarto Pasamam Sakshat Bhakti Yogam Madhoksaje Lokasya Janato Vidvam Shaprisagat Samhitam Yashambhai Shriyamanayam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktarupadyate Pumsa Shoka Moha Vayapaha Srimad Bhagavatam Puranamamalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam Yasmin Paramahamsamekamalam Gyanam Padam Giyate Tatra Gyana Vailagya Bhakti Sahitam Naiskamyam Avishkritam Tachindan Supatenda Chayana Pado Bhaktyavamuchanada Arto Yam Brahmasutanam Gavai Vinayam Gayatri Vasharupo So Vedartha Paribrimita Sarva Vedeti Hasanam Saram Saram Samudritam Sarva Vedanta Saram He Srimad Bhagavatam Ishyate Tadrasamita Tripta Shanam Yatra Swadhuchi Guchay Krishna Bhakti Rasa Swarup Shri Bhagavatam Tate Veda Shastra Hoite Paramamatra Chari Veda Upanishade Jata Kichu Hoya Tara Arta Lanavyasa Korila Sanchaya Jesu Te Jeruk Vishaya Vachana Bhagavate Seruk Slokani Bandana Jivera Nistara Lagi Sutra Koilo Vyasa Mayavadi Vashishunyale Hoya Sarvanasa Jao Bhagavata Padam Vaishnavera Stane Ekanta Shayakara Chaitanya Charane Bhagavata Jenamane Sejavana Sama Tara Sasta Ache Janne Janne Prabhu Jama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam, King of all literatures, Canto 9, Chapter 13, Text number 11. Let's find the verse. Please repeat. Deva Uchu, Deva Uchu, Videha Ushritam Kamam, Videha Ushritam Kamam, Lochaneshu Shariranam, Lochaneshu Shariranam, Unmaisana Nimesabhyam, Unmeshana Nimesabhyam, Lakshito Dhyatma Samstita, Lakshito Dhyatma Samstita. Others?
Deva Uchuhu Videha Usyatam Kamam Lochaneshu Saririnam Unmeshana Nimeshabhyam Lakshito Adhyatma Samstita
Deva Uchu Videha Usyatam Kamam Lochaneshu Sharirinam Unmeshana Nimeshabhyam लक्षितो अध्यात्म संस्थिता
लक्षितो अध्यात्म संस्थिता देवा उचुः विदेहास्यतां कामं लोचनेषु शरीरिणां उन्मेषणानिमेषाभ्यां लक्षितो अध्यात्म संस्थिता देवा उचुः विदेहास्यतां कामं लोचनेषु शरीरिणां उन्मेषणानिमेषाभ्यां लक्षितो अध्यात्म संस्थितः देवा उचुः विदेहास्यतां कामं लोचनेषु शरीरिणां उन्मेषणानिमेषाभ्यां लक्षितो अध्यात्म संस्थितः
Deva Uchu. The demigods said, Videha, without any material body, Ushyatam, you live, Kamam, as you like, Lochaneshu, in the vision, Shariranam, of those who have material bodies. Umeshananibesabhyam, become manifest and unmanifest as you desire. Lakshita, being seen, Adhyatma samstita, situated in a spiritual body. Translation, the demigods said, let Maharaj Nimi live without a material body. Let him live in the spiritual body as a personal associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and according to his desire, let him be manifest or unmanifest to common materially embodied people. Please repeat. The demigods said, let Maharaj Nimi live without a material body. Let him live in a spiritual body. As a personal associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and according to his desire, let him be manifest or unmanifest to common materially embodied people. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The demigods wanted Maharaj Nimi to come to life, but Maharaj Nimi did not want to accept another material body. So just a little background behind this section here. Maharaj Nimi wanted to perform some sacrifices. He came and requested his priest, Vishishta, to do so. But Vishishta told him, I already have some obligation. I'm supposed to do a sacrifice for someone else. So let me finish that and I'll come back. But Maharaj Nimi, understanding that the material world is a very temporary place, he went ahead and did the sacrifice. And when his guru came back, it was already finished. And Vishishta became very angry and cursed him, and she'll leave your body. So Maharaj Nimi left his body, and the demigods, they preserved his body, and later they wanted to bring him back to life. And so they did so. So this is just a little background behind this. The demigods wanted Maharaj Nimi to come to life, but Maharaj Nimi did not want to accept another material body. Under the circumstances, the demigods, having been requested by the saintly persons, gave him the benediction that he would be able to stay in his spiritual body. There are two kinds of spiritual bodies, as generally understood by common men. The term spiritual body is sometimes taken to refer to a ghostly body. An impious man who dies after sinful activities is sometimes condemned so that he cannot possess a gross material body, the five material elements, but must live in a subtle body of mind, intelligence, and ego. However, as explained in Bhagavad Gita, devotees can give up the material body and attain a spiritual body, free from all material tinges, gross and subtle. Chakvideham punarjanma naitimam iti so Arjuna. Thus the demigods gave King Nimi the benediction that he would be able to stay in a purely spiritual body, free from all gross and subtle material contamination. The Supreme Personality of Godhead can be seen or unseen according to his own transcendental desire. Similarly, a devotee, being Jivan Mukta, can be seen or not as he chooses. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yogamaya Samavrita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is not manifest to everyone and anyone. To the common man, he is unseen. Atashri Krishna Namani Nabhavedran Indriya. Krishna and his name, fame, qualities, and paraphernalia cannot be materially understood. Unless one is advanced in spiritual life, sevanmukhi jiva, though one cannot see Krishna. Therefore, the ability to see Krishna depends on Krishna's mercy. The same privilege of being seen or unseen according to one's own desire was given to Maharaj Nimi. Thus he lived in his original spiritual body as an associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Gora Gragamya Gana Gocha Goloruharam Goranga Guratama Gopyada Kopa Briksham Gopala Gadarati Damyati Singha Gora Govinda Deshikavaram Satatam Namami. So, this verse is speaking about a very important phrase to mention here. Umeshana Nimesabhyam. Umeshana Nimesabhyam. That Maharaj Nimi, the demigods are giving this benediction. He may be manifest, he may not be manifest. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be seen or unseen according to his own transcendental desire. Similarly, a devotee, being Jivan Mukta, can be seen or not as he chooses. Has anyone here, have any of you ever been misunderstood in a way that you felt unhappy about? Raise your hand. Everybody. It's a very common thing, isn't it? But it's the nature of the conditioned soul to consider himself to be the judge of other people. But in a Vaisnava Sanga, this is an important principle in a Vaisnava Sanga. We were mentioning last night that the nature of a Vaisnava Sangha is that Krishna is kept in the center of everything. And the nature of a Vaishnava is they don't consider themselves to be the seer. There's two things. There's drashta, the seer, and there's drishta, the seen. Our constitutional position is drishta. We're meant to be seen. Our position is not to be the seer. We should understand the meaning of darshan. Sometimes we think we just go to www.darshan.com and we have darshan of God. That's a nice preaching thing. Why not? We can say people have daily darshan and that. But what does darshan really mean? Does darshan mean that I come before the deities and I check them out? Yeah, I think I approve. Pujaris did a good job today. Is that darshan? What am I seeing with this stula deha, this material body, with this kind of vision that I have? Well, nice deities. Are these made out of brass or are these made out of astadhatu? I see something material. I don't see Brajendrananda and Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. So darshan doesn't mean that I'm seeing, although it's certainly purifying for my eyes to look at the deity, and I should certainly do so. But darshan means that I come before the Lord and he sees me. To teach us about the meaning of darshan, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada has explained the purport of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's standing next to the Garuda Stamba when he had darshan in the Jagannath Mandir. The first time he went into the Mandir, he ran to embrace Jagannath. And he fell unconscious in ecstasy. And the Pandits were going to beat him. They liked doing that. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, no, wait, I see something. This sadhu looks very special. You take him to my home. And they took him nearby to his house. Henceforth, after that, whenever Mahaprabhu would come to have darshan of Jagannath, he wouldn't go close to Jagannath. He would stay in the back, near the Garuda Stamba. And there's a Bahiranga Karan, an external reason for that, and an Antaranga Karan, an internal reason. The internal reason was because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Radharani. And Radharani becomes a little shy when she sees Balaram and Subhadra. She likes to see Krishna, Jagannath. And from the Garuda Stamba, I'm told, I've never been inside the Jagannath Mandir, but I'm told that you can't see Balaram and Subhadra, but you can see Jagannath nicely. So Mahaprabhu was standing there. This is one internal reason. But the external reason was for Loka Siksha, to teach the common people the meaning of darshan. In his dainya bhav, his mood of humility, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought, why will Jagannath wants to see me? But Jagannath will certainly like to see Garuda. So let me stand next to Garuda, and then Jagannath may see me. This is the meaning of darshan. We don't try to see the Lord, rather we try to behave in such a way that the Lord will want to see us. It's a very important principle. And when we try to judge other devotees, it's a very unfortunate thing. Why do we do that? It's actually a very evil propensity. Because if you're judging someone, it means that you consider yourself to be the seer. It's like once I was having a conversation with a very senior devotee in ISKCON, private conversation, and he was a little disillusioned. And he said some things which I wasn't very happy to hear. And I'm sorry to repeat them, they're not very nice, but I'll give you a purport to it. He told me, he said, there's no bona fide sannyasis in ISKCON. He said, none of them chant their rounds, none of them are chanting 16 rounds. He said, I know. I was a sannyasi, and I never chanted 16 rounds. He said like this. And I became a little unhappy hearing that. And I spoke in a kind of impertinent way, please forgive me, but I couldn't control myself. I said, well, I know at least one person who's qualified in ISKCON. And he said, yeah, who? And I said, you. And he kind of took a step backwards, like I'm going to do some judo or something with him, right? And he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, if you're on the platform that you can see who's qualified and who's not qualified, then you must be qualified. So that's very encouraging. We have at least one person who's qualified. So let's think about it. What does it mean when I present myself as your judge? It means that I'm the seer. Who is the seer? Gurudev is the seer. The pure devotee is the seer. Krishna is the seer. It means I'm trying to take Krishna's position. Or maybe in a more subtle way, I'm trying to take Gurudev's position. It's not my business to be the judge of the devotees. I don't know who's qualified and who's not qualified. Prabhupada said, similarly a devotee being Jivan Mukta can be seen or not as he chooses. I'm not the judge of the devotee, and that's not my business. Gurudev has never told me to try to be the judge of the devotees. Rather, I'm a blind person. There's a nice poem that we printed in our Krishna Katamrita Bindu magazine some years back. This was written in the 1800s by an American poet. His name was John Godfrey Saxe, a famous poet in America. And somehow he was interested in Indian philosophy. And he wrote a nice poem about a parable, an example that Srila Prabhupada used many times. But please listen. He said, it was 6 men of Indostan to learning much inclined who went to see the elephant, though all of them were blind. That each by observation might satisfy his mind. The first approached the elephant and happened to fall against his broad and sturdy side. At once began to bawl, God bless me, but the elephant is very like a wall. The second, feeling of the tusk, cried, Ho, what have we here? So very round and smooth and sharp. To me, 'tis mighty clear, this wonder of an elephant is very like a spear. The third approached the animal, and happening to take the squirming trunk within his hands, thus boldly up he spake, I see, quoth he, the elephant is very like a snake. The fourth reached out an eager hand and felt about the knee. What most this wondrous beast is like is mighty plain, quoth he. 'Tis clear enough the elephant is very like a tree. The fifth, who chanced to touch the ear, said, even the blindest man can tell what this resembles most. Deny the fact who can, this marvel of an elephant is very like a fan. The sixth, no sooner had begun about the beast to grope, than seizing on the swinging tail that fell within his scope, I see, quoth he, the elephant is very like a rope. And so these men of Hindustan disputed loud and long, each in his own opinion, exceeding stiff and strong, though each was partly in the right, and all were in the wrong. Moral, so often theologic wars, the disputants, I ween, rail on in utter ignorance of what each other mean, and prate about an elephant not one of them has seen. So this is a very important principle within our own spiritual life. In a Vaisnava Sanga, in a society like we have, we naturally want to be good members. There's a sociological phenomena that you would study in any course on comparative religions, and especially if they discuss about the topic of conversion, religious conversion. Religious converts by nature become somewhat fanatical. And especially if you're converting to some system which has a different kind of culture that we're not used to. And I've observed, please don't mind, we have a lot of Indian body devotees here with us. I've been living in India for 25 years. I've observed, even in India, that many of the devotees, many of the people who come to Krishna consciousness, it's a huge life change for them. It's not just the Bideshis, just the Westerners, but it's also the Deshis. It's a huge life change for them. And when you come, we shave our head if you move in the temple, and things, and all of a sudden you've lost all your friends. And none of your friends appreciate the way I'm dressed anymore, or my haircut or anything. And all of a sudden, I'm a new guy on the block. I was a bhakti leader for some years in Los Angeles. And I remember we used to preach to people. Sometimes we'd make someone a devotee, and so-called make them a devotee. And we'd bring them in and we'd shave their hair, and they would have an identity crisis. Because their identity was in their hair. They really liked their long, beautiful hair, whatever. Their identity was in their old, faded Levi jeans. And now they don't have those anymore. Their identity was in their record collection, which they gave up. Their identity was in their taste of music and their social life, and they gave all those things up. And now all of a sudden, who am I? And you could see it in their face, a kind of fear. And now that they're in a strange place and everybody's getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and going and jumping up and down and dancing in kirtan and chanting japa and things, and they don't even know how to put on a dhoti properly. And it's hard for them. So the natural thing is, in such a situation, people become fanatics. They want to be accepted because everyone wants to have some friends. And so they try to put on a show. Very great devotee, big tilak, big kunti mala, neck beads, or whatever, however they try to present themselves, so that they can be accepted by everyone. Because by nature, we all want to be accepted. But when we have this evil propensity of trying to judge other devotees, then it causes great problems in the society. We shouldn't consider ourselves to be the judge. The judge, that person, he's the Sankirtan leader. He has a right to judge the results that you've done for the day. And the fact that you just stayed in the car and slept all day. He has a right to chastise you for that. The temple president, the GBC, they have some right. Gurudev has that right. The parents have that right to judge their child. But even in each of those positions, they have to be careful because they can also make mistakes. And they may chastise someone who actually wasn't wrong. Once it's said that Govinda was the cousin of Ramanuja Acharya. And he was doing service for Gurudev. And his service was to make the bed of Ramanuja. And one day after he'd made the bed, one of the devotees happened to come in the room there and he saw that Govinda was laying down in the bed. Now, Shastra says that's a great offense to lay in the bed of the Guru. And so that devotee went and told Ramanuja, said, you know what Govinda's doing? Doing this thing, he's being a nonsense. So Ramanuja, he called for Govinda. Hey, Govinda, what are you doing? Huh? And Govinda, he said, Gurudev, I wanted to make sure this bed is very soft for you. I'm not interested in laying down, and I know I'll go to hell for laying down like this, but let me go to hell. I don't care. But I want to make sure that the bed is made nicely for you. That's service. So it's a difficult thing to judge. And if we put ourselves in the position of the judge of other people, people are naturally going to be unhappy. We're going to be unhappy. And that's not our position. We won't be able to make advancement in bhakti then. We're doing something that we're not supposed to be doing. We're absorbing ourselves in the wrong thing. We have the wrong attitude to make advancement. We should do what we've been given to do. If you've been told to try to be a judge of other people, then Hare Krishna, that's your misfortune. If you have the curse of being a manager, very difficult thing. I often tell devotees, you should respect the managers and leaders. Because if you don't, you may become one. It's not an easy thing. Huh? We had one cartoon. It was a picture of a board meeting. And there's about 6 or 8 people sitting around the table. And there's one fellow who's got an axe stuck in his head, and arrows stuck in his body, and swords and knives stuck all throughout his body. And he's speaking to everybody else at the table. He says, so who wants to be the next chairman? Because that's what it means to accept that position. Everyone's going to try to chastise you and find fault with you, but that's going to cause great disturbance in the society. Because indirectly you're giving a message, and the message is that I can see, I can understand who's who. I'm a judge. And chanting Hare Krishna, your message is, that's okay, but better than that, you should open up a website and expose the rascals. That's the real solution. So indirectly, you're discouraging people about the chanting of the holy name. Chanting of the holy name, that's Hare Krishna, that's okay, but really high-class devotees, they run around and they consider themselves to be the judge of other persons. So we have to give up that evil propensity. Otherwise, how can we make advancement in bhakti? So we may continue this discussion in our second session this morning, which will be at 10 o'clock, but my time is over at 9. We got, I don't know, I can't see, but I think we got just a couple minutes. So if there's any reflections, first of all, I'd like hearing if devotees appreciated any points or understood something or got some realization from it. Any reflections from anyone?
So, I struggle with this a lot because I'm very opinionated.
Yeah.
I'm very opinionated.
Mhm.
Like, I am just always trying to understand humility and working on it, realizing that I probably need to continue trying to understand it throughout my life. But how can we, because part of my consciousness is thinking like, I look at how things are being done and I think, okay, can we do these things better? And sometimes it's a fine line between having a critical mentality and trying to be constructive.
Right. Vaishnavas are also meant to be connoisseurs. Mahuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. Someone who's a rasik, they're a connoisseur. You could roughly translate that word rasik as a connoisseur. So it doesn't mean that we're statues. It doesn't mean that we're dumb and stupid. It doesn't mean that everything is all the same. We're not impersonalists. It's not that all the classes are the same, all the kirtans are the same. Everybody who does the deity worship, everybody who cooks is the same. All the prasadam is the same. We distinguish. There's certain things that we like. We like a particular class. We like a particular kirtan. We like a particular devotee's mood. And we follow that devotee. But we should be careful of the evil propensity to criticize others. If we see a devotee coming out of a striptease place, you may think, oh, you have a couple of choices. You can go and start telling everybody, I saw such and such devotee coming out of this place. My God, you can do like that, or you can act on the platform of faith and friendship. Because if somehow you were in that position, maybe there was no bathroom to be used, and somebody, they went in to use the bathroom or something. Maybe they're going in there because someone wanted a book, and they asked them, please come and meet me in my job, and because I want to get one of those Hare Krishna books. So before we judge that person, we would feel very bad if we went in to give them a book or use a bathroom or something, and somebody started going and telling everybody this person did this thing. So before we go and start telling everybody, we should go first to that devotee and say, excuse me, this is friendship. This is culture. This is society. I saw this thing. I don't understand. And even if it's Gurudev, then we have a right, Shastra says, to go to Gurudev, to go to some senior Vaishnava in a humble way and say, Guru Maharaj, I don't understand. Why were you in that place there? And see what he says. And then he may have a good answer. But what if he doesn't have a good answer? What if he starts becoming red in the face? Krishna may be warning you about something. It doesn't mean that you give that person up or start hating them at that point or something. But then Krishna may tell you, be careful. And then Krishna may give some other sign or something. This is a very big subject in and of itself, how we deal with a position of a fallen senior devotee. Krishna reveals that to us. The first crisis that happens is there's a lack of faith. I remember a few years ago, somebody picked us up from the airport in Delhi to take us to the Gurgaon temple. We were giving some class there. It was a new devotee. And as we were riding in the car, he asked me if he could ask some questions. I said, sure. And he said, well, I don't understand. I've been a devotee for like 6 months now. And when I first joined, everything was really good. And I was so happy and it was so nice. But now, it's not so good anymore. And I don't feel so enlivened. Why is that? And then I asked him, who have you been talking to? Because often we see that when someone first comes, they think, everybody's a pure devotee. And you're so happy. Because they're all pure devotees. It's such a wonderful thing. You get so much, and then afterwards someone comes and tells you, that guy, I saw him. He was eating prasadam in the bathroom. He's not a pure devotee. He's a rotten this or that. And then, oh, it's a big shock. And we don't feel so much happiness anymore. So we have a right. Moreover, we actually have an obligation to distinguish. We have to do that. To distinguish things is a nature, an important quality of a devotee. We have a right to choose our association. We have a right to choose even what kind of prasadam we take. We still respect prasadam. We still respect other association. But I may like certain prasadam. I may like certain association. I will. That's a natural thing. Jiva Goswami in Bhakti Sandarbha, he says that in the beginning, when we come to the platform of bhajana kriya, or doing our bhajan, we hear Krishna Katha from so many people. We have that system in our movement. We hear class from everybody. And that's nice. It also helps us to come together as a family. And that's one reason, just incidentally, why we shouldn't sit 100 yards away from the speaker. It's strange. You wouldn't have a conversation with friends like that. And that's this Bhagavatam Katha is an opportunity for us to come together as a Sangha. So we come close, so we can hear and interact in a nice way. So in the beginning, we may hear from many different people. But after some time, there's one person we really like to hear from. And we especially like that person's mood, not just the information that they're giving, but the mood of that devotee. And then we start hearing more from that devotee. And Jiva Goswami says after some time, that person generally becomes the guru of the devotee. It's a natural thing. It's not that everybody's equal and everybody's just the same. Then you're going to become an impersonalist. We have to distinguish. But we have to learn Deho Nata Jata Jata. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in the song Gurudev Kripa Bindiya, that Deho Nata Jata Jata, that I respect, give me the strength, Gurudev, he says, to respect everyone according to their position. It requires some subtle intelligence. Whereas a new person is just sentimental and they just respect everybody. They're all pure devotees. And then sometimes they become, I'll put this in quotes, a little more sophisticated. And these guys are not pure devotees. And maybe there is no pure devotees. There's no devotees at all. Sometimes they start saying. And they become discouraged and they go away. That also is not wanted. We should become a little more subtle. And we should learn to appreciate devotees based on the fact that they're hearing and chanting. And we can love them for that. But if we see they have some bad habits, or some misunderstanding, or angry attitude or something, then maybe we keep a little distance from them. We have to learn that art. That's the art of love. We overlook the faults of someone else. And isn't it that's what we're all looking for? Isn't that what every girl's looking for in a husband? Unless you're a perfect lady, I don't know any woman who's perfect. And isn't that what every man's looking for in a wife? Someone who can forgive me, in spite of the fact that I get angry sometimes, in spite of the fact that I break some dishes once in a while by accident, or I do something, I spill some big stain on my clothes or something. That someone will be able to forgive me in spite of my faults and things, and not be angry and tear me apart with everything. That's love. And we're all looking for that. And a Vaisnava Sangha is such a very, very important quality. And we have to be forgiving with each other and overlook the faults of others. But at the same time, we should distinguish, because then we can actually be a good member of the society. It's not that when I came, I walked in the building, and 5 minutes after I came into the building, I became ISKCON. Now, I am ISKCON. It's not that I got Kaivalya Mukti, some impersonal merging with Prabhupada's mission. No. How can I serve the mission properly then? I'm an individual. And there's certain things I like, certain things that I don't like. And certain people that I like to work with, and certain people I may not like to work with. And individuality is wanted. Krishna wants that. Krishna doesn't want just robots and institutions. Yeah, Krishna, I'm ISKCON. Krishna wants some persons. Okay? It's a good subject. All right, so I think we should stop. We're a little late, and devotees probably want to take the time. So we'll come again. Can we say at 10:30? Is that okay? Go a little longer. Okay. So 10:30 we'll have another session on the same subject matter. Thank you all very much. Prataraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.